Counting it in.
Yep. 3. Oh, we're fucking. I've already hit record.
Fuck it, we're rolling.
Yeah.
All right, per usual. Welcome back, everybody. It's Dawn Talk. I think this is episode 8.
Yeah.
So we're going 2 months strong now, and I got Zack over there. Unfortunately, this episode might be cut a little bit short because my brother's cat bit through my cord for my charger. So if my laptop dies midway through, I'm sorry. We're just gonna rock it as long as we can.
Yep.
Kind of got cotton mouth too, so.
Can you just real quick? Can you shift your camera a little bit? I think
Yeah.
to your right. Different right. A little bit right there, perfect. Just with the new overlay that we got, it made you look a little off center.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll have my own desk, so I won't have this little setup of me just sitting crisscross applesauce on my wall. I mean, everybody else that's been on the podcast so far is like a legit streamer setup, and I'm over here just chilling. But
Hey, bro.
the OG that snuck in, trying to give y'all some content. Bear with me, you know what I mean? If I'm an old man at this, but
yeah, it happens.
nah, man. Something that's been on my mind is
Hit me with it.
a fresh reset.
What do you mean by that?
The power of it. That in your mind you can just decide at any time to view your energy and your life in a different way. And I think the more that you look at your energy as currency, that was something that my mom was telling me. She was like, just look at your energy as currency and the feelings that you can get of things that make you feel abundant. And as you begin to do that more and more, you'll start to notice things blossom in other areas of your life because you're looking and seeing value where you used to just see what was missing, you know? But now it's like you look at that gap as some place where there's room in your life. Like she told me, she said, just make room in your heart and wait, for whatever it is in your life that you're wanting. Like go after it, but know that it's done, you know, and trust that what comes to you is going to resonate with all that good energy that you're harvesting and nourishing within yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like when we started this podcast, bro, like 2 months ago, I guess now, which is crazy for me to even say, I was definitely like my mental health was not there. Everybody wants to talk about it, but like, bro, that car accident that I was in back in August, like, seriously affected my brain, like shook my brain up. I think I've just had way too many concussions. Like, my ass probably already has some CTE of some sort just from getting sucker punched and all kinds of fucking boxing and fun shit that I've done, or just, whatever it was. I was always falling off my bike and landing on my head, like car accidents upon car accidents. Like, just is what it is, bro. I've been hitting the head with all kinds of objects, golf clubs, sticks, like.
As a kid, dude, we would play full contact football with no pads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But that's like normal.
That's like, well, I don't know, dude. We played aggressive.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And like we would play like every day.
Yeah. That's like what you do as a kid. But there's levels to it. You know what I mean?
There's levels. Like we had full fucking teams. We had like 22 people playing at one time.
What I'm talking about is like when I was little, right? This is a funny story. So I was like pumping down the sidewalk on my bike, just like hauling ass, seeing how quick I could go because I had just got this new bike.
You're throwing it left and right.
Yeah, real literally. Hard. I'm pumping, bro. Like, I'm hauling. my brother was out in front of my neighbor's house with this like plastic golf club. It had like a metal piece, but it was like hard plastic, like legit. Looked like a legit driver, but like for a kid. And he was trying to hit a water bottle, and he like didn't see me coming, so he full on like whack, and like I'm pumping, and I don't know, I'm just hauling ass, and he literally caught me bang right in my eye, like off of my bike while I'm riding like full speed into it. Yeah, it literally knocked my whole eyelid like in half. It was just hanging on by like this.
God damn.
And I was probably what, like 4.5, maybe 5 years old, something like that.
Damn.
Tops. No, I was pretty little, bro. Like, and like I was in a crazy car accident when I was like 4 years old, the one I told you about.
Yeah.
Like I've just had a lot of different things, but the point being, like, I appreciate anyone that even has bared with me to this point because connecting all the words in my brain, like sometimes I'm having a hard time. Like I haven't even smoked for this podcast or anything. I've been eating, I've been taking care of myself. I've been doing my yoga, I've been working out again. Like I'm really trying to like center myself and make sure that like I'm nourished spiritually, mentally, physically, but my words still aren't connecting in my brain.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
No, it
And it's
makes
fucked
sense.
up
It's like
because I freestyle.
yeah, well that's I feel like that's different. That's like cuz you know like how people who have a stutter won't stutter when they sing.
Yeah.
I feel like this a little it's something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like my focus isn't I don't know. It just I'm in a whole other frequency like that just is uninterrupted.
You're really not trying to explain something, I think. Like you don't have to have words put into a certain way to make someone understand what you're saying. If someone
Yeah.
understands what you're saying in a rap, then they understand because the wordplay and they can break it down and figure it out.
Well, also,
You
I
know,
don't write anything,
well, of
right?
course.
So since it's all just stream of consciousness, like I don't know, for some reason, a couple drinks, maybe a toast, and I'm like prime time. It just comes out of me if I feel the rhythm.
Yeah,
But when there's no rhythm, and I'm just trying to articulate myself and express myself, sometimes it's not pairing up right now.
yeah,
Um, and so I'm just trying to be honest with everybody because I have really high standards for myself, um, and what I want to give to everybody content wise. So it's an uphill battle, and I feel like I was super nervous and really kind of like kicking myself as I was going through each episode up until this point where I something just dawned on me where I was like, "Yo, stop stressing. Let's just be who you are from wherever you are and hope everything just goes well from there." So,
facts,
um,
dude. Like
yeah,
one of the things that helped me not be nervous was when I used to stream GTA a lot. Like there was at one point I was streaming like 8 to 14 hours a day every day for like 3 months before I found a job.
yeah, that'll normalize just about anything you do it that long.
And then I just got used to talking to
Mm-hmm.
people that I can't see.
Mm.
and being on well, I mean, yeah. I think that was the biggest thing that helped me make it not feel awkward because to me I was just sitting down having a conversation while we were recording, which was basically like streaming. You just
Yeah,
sit down and boom, you go.
I think it's funny because I still have a little bit of like anxiety whenever we sit down and do this.
Yeah,
More so when I feel the need to explain myself, you know?
yeah.
Like I'm an over talker. I'm someone that like I'm a over communicate. That might be like my fatal flaw. Like especially in relationships like nah, we're talking until I know you know what the fuck I'm saying.
I think maybe
Like
learning how to make it more concise
mhm.
because I've noticed like for anybody, if someone gives a long, drawn out explanation about something, it usually tends to lose the person just in general, right?
Yeah.
So if you make it more concise and, like we've talked about, dumb it down a little bit,
Mhm.
people might be able to understand it a lot faster.
Oh, for sure. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm just at the point where it's like there's moments in my life where I've had to check back in and it's like a humbling experience where I realize I can try and do the like fake it till you make it thing
Mhm.
or I can just be honest
Yeah.
about where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
And I prefer the honest approach, even if it is a little embarrassing at times, because I'd rather just tell somebody, bear with me, like I'm trying to get these words out, but I'm just dealing with something right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
See,
And
that's all
not
you gotta
sound like
say. You gotta
a
be
hypocrite.
like, it's hard to articulate what I want to say right now, but
Yeah.
bear with me.
Uh-huh.
Basically what you just said. That right
Yeah.
there, flawless. Someone would understand that.
Exactly. And not necessarily getting into the details of it, but for the sake
Exactly.
of Dawn talk and giving myself to the world to the best of my ability, I feel like I kind of owe it to anyone that's watching this, just to give you an apology and an explanation, and just let you know that shit's gonna get better. I've been taking my Alpha Brain that Zach bought me.
Wait, I
I'm
bought
just
you
trying to
Alpha
get it.
Brain?
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
That that was a clutch gift.
Maybe I need to start taking it.
Yeah, shit.
I take
Maybe.
lion's mane right now.
What does that do?
It helps with cognitive functions too. It's more of like a
Oh,
memory retention mushroom. Lion's mane is a mushroom. Um,
what?
yeah, here I'll grab the bottle and I'll read it to you.
Hey, no wonder. Mushrooms are great, bro. They're straight up. Mushrooms are incredible.
Yeah. So lion's mane is a mushroom, and this specifically it says supports nerve growth factor, NGF levels, supports cognitive health and immune system health.
Hmm.
Yeah. I take about 500 milligrams, or no. Yeah, I take about 5 or 1,000 milligrams a day. Take 2 of these.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I kind of have been just doing a weird hodgepodge of things. Like I might have some like chewy vitamin gummies for like digestion in the morning, and I'll like bring some like zinc. So like I almost like stagger like a different kind. It's not all the same ingredients, so it's not like time release of like one thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm constantly just giving my body a little bit of this and a little bit of that,
I
throughout
do
the
all
day.
my vitamins in the morning after I eat. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I eat breakfast, boom, take them.
I think that's the way that a lot of people do it, and probably the way that you should do it. But I don't know. I'm testing
Yeah.
theories right now. I have
Hey,
been having
bro, if
some.
it works, it works.
I've been having some crazy dreams though. But you know what?
Bro, I had a weird
What?
one last night.
All right, hit
This
me.
is fucking weird, dude. And it's not like the most interesting, but it's just weird. Um, so I went. So okay, I was at work, and it was just a normal day. But when you go into my job at the back of the gym, there's a maintenance closet where you like refill all the spray bottles, where all the tools and like junk gets
Mhm.
thrown. It's like a catch-all basically.
Mhm.
And I went back there. Everything was normal. And then I come back out, and all of a sudden, uh, everybody in the gym wasn't wearing any masks. And it's mandatory to wear masks in Oregon anywhere. And I was like,
Mhm.
wait a second. All of a sudden, I realized I was dreaming. And I was like, this is weird. Why is no one
Mhm.
wearing a mask? And then as I walk up to the front desk, all of a sudden, now I'm the only one wearing a fucking mask. And I'm like, oh, now I feel weird. And I can't get the mask off. And then I woke up. It was weird.
Bro, I feel like I just
Your
I have
dreams are
like
probably on a different level, but like that was just like
I
to
had a
me,
weird dream last night. As a matter of fact, bro. Um, I was with my cousin, who lives in New York, right?
okay.
And she was staying in some like apartment complex or something. And she was having me staying over there to like protect her or something. And I remember I was like looking out the window, like peeking through the blinds or whatever. And I was like, yeah, she was like, there's a whole lot of like weird stuff going on around here. And I was like, word? Because there, and as I'm seeing this, there were literally squirrels in the tree, like pulling up a dead
Oh
squirrel,
yeah, your dreams are on a different fucking level than
like
mine.
its body, like on like a lever system. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like a
A
lever and
pulley
pulley.
system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're like raising it up. I don't know, it like fell out of the tree or something. And I'm supposed to be looking for like this dude that's like being like a creep, like creeping on her, right? So I'm in her house and she's like sleeping and I'm sitting there with like a fucking pistol and I'm like all sketched out looking for this person. Like my spidey sense is like tingling. Like I feel like I'm being like watched, right? And so like I get to the front door and the front door's like as I'm creeping up on it, like from behind like this
Yeah.
to like round the corner, um, the door's like cracked, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. And so I peek around the door and like grab this person and like smash their head into like the door frame.
Oh my
And
god.
then I come out around the door, right? And I'm like, I'm bugged out. And it was like a teenager. There was like a crazy ass, like you ever seen like those shows where it's like a psycho teenager? It was like a
Oh
psycho
yeah.
teenager, bro, and it was like the weirdest shit. He just like vanished, like ran and like hopped a rail and just like dipped out. And it was just this crazy dream of me just living in this feeling of like
Paranoia.
being watched and having to protect people and like I don't know. So like my dreams always have these like weird running emotional themes that are like super dark and crazy and volatile. Yeah.
Well, it's probably because you feel like you have to protect people and you feel like you have to take care of them.
Well, I've had to, but yeah, it's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
My dreams just are always bananas like that. That's why sometimes like when I go to sleep, I don't like to go to sleep. Um
Oh, bro. See, I fucking love to go to sleep. We are so opposite. That's crazy on that.
it just depends, bro. Like I'm stoked to go to sleep if I'm tired, but then you wake up and you're shook and you're like, "Oh fuck, bro. I don't want to go back to sleep. I got to because I fall right back into that shit. Like I'm one of those
Yeah.
people. I'll wake up and I'll be like driving, looking at a dude in the car, and he's like, ah, and like smashing into me, and I'm like, oh shit, and I wake up, and then like, but I'm all drowsy, and I'm like, just stay a fucking, and then I fall back into it, and I'm like, it's like the dream didn't even like. The
Ah!
dream kept going, so now I'm in a different spot, and it's even more disorienting. Yeah, bro, I've had so many crazy ass dreams like that ever since I was a kid, bro.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's what happens when you show your kid Rambo too early and then leave.
I've had some pretty crazy dreams too. It's just I can't. I used to have this
I can't
reoccurring
say
one
it
about a
like that. That's bad.
dinosaur.
My dad's a good dude. You know what I mean? Like my dad's a good dad.
Yeah.
But when I was little, like he was way too cool. Showed me way too much G shit. Like I was watching the Terminator when I was like fucking 2.5, 3 years old. I
Damn.
remember when he cuts his arm off, like
Yeah.
that shit.
The skin. Yeah.
Bro, I was so little, I was like, what? And what
Bro.
was even crazier than that? Oh man, my life has crazy stories. Okay, so we were driving out to my family's house in Vernonia. We called it Dog Patch, right? And you have to go through like these windy little country roads in order to get there.
Hmm.
And it had just rained like the day before or something. And we were on our way out there in an old school Trooper is the car that we had. And the Troopers have like big windows. So you can see it's almost like panoramic. You can see anywhere that you are. And we come up around this corner and there's a bike like a chopper stuck underneath this guardrail, right?
Oh shit.
And so we pull over and it's this steep ass hill, right? And my dad hops out and a dude had like slid out and went underneath the guardrail but bashed his face on the guardrail and it literally ripped his whole entire face off.
Holy
Like
shit.
all of this was like gone, right?
Wow.
And he was down in like this ravine. So like my dad, thank God it was my dad that came around that corner, right? Because my dad's he works as like a nurse in a prison. He's a head nurse in a prison. So he's seen all kinds of stuff, pencils and eyes, all kind of crazy shit. My dad's OG when it comes to that. So my dad goes down this ravine and he comes back up with this dude and he carries him back up and he sets him on the side of the road and I remember him yelling like I need the sleeping bags. I need the sleeping bags. And I was in the back seat so I had to like climb over and like get the sleeping bags and I was probably like I don't know, maybe like 3 years old, three and a half. I so much shit happened before I was 5 years old. It's crazy.
And the fact that you
Um,
remember this shit blows my mind. I don't remember jack shit from when I was 5.
Dude, I remember back to when I was 2.5. I remember because
That's
my brother's two
ridiculous.
and a half years older than me, right?
Yeah.
I remember my brother learning to read and me learning to read at the same time,
Oh
like
shit.
using these old books called the Bob books. They were like different colors. They were yellow, blue, and red and shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, my dad comes back up. He's got the dude down there, and the dude's going into shock. So my dad's like, "I need the sleeping bags. I need the sleeping bags." And so I give him this stuff, and I'm just looking at the like window, like what? And I can see up underneath this dude's cheek and like all into his fucking skull and shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, a kid, like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is this? And my dad actually got that dude life flighted out of there and literally like saved this dude's life. And I was like
Damn.
right there watching the whole shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like that can happen. So then when I saw the Terminator, I was like, yo, like what?
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of me, bro. That was the
Bro,
one scene in that movie I couldn't watch. I'm
I've
pulling
told
up.
you about this, but fucking at one point in my life, I was like 9 or 10. My brother forced me to watch The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And that shit fucked me up. I couldn't walk into a fucking bedroom without reaching around the corner and turning on the light for like 10 years after that. That shit was
Yo, I
fucked.
all right. So since this is a short and sweet podcast, I guess we're just gonna pull out the big guns. So when I was little, my dad and my brother, also I'm very sensitive, like spiritually, like and emotion in every way, bro. I'm a sensitive person, right? Very perceptive of things.
Yeah.
Um, and my brother and my dad were watching these like ghost stories on
Mm-hmm.
Discovery Channel, and there was this one ghost story, right? Of this chick that was like filming a shadow that would like follow her. And it was like there were places where there's no way this thing could have been a shadow, you know what I mean? And it was like
Yeah.
old school stuff. And so they didn't really think nothing about it. And I told them, I was like, you guys, this is like freaking me out. And then after I saw that, whenever I would look into darkness, like I would see it. And like this like thing started like following me. And um have you ever heard of a succubus?
Yes.
A succubus
I've
attack?
heard the name and I always forget what it does or what it is.
So they say it's like a like creature that like sits on your chest or
Oh
something, and it's
yeah.
like when you wake up in like sleep paralysis
Yeah,
type
yeah,
weird
okay.
shit,
Okay. Like a little
right?
sleep demon.
Yeah, some weird kind of shit like that. And I remember being little, right? And that kept like it started like haunting me, like it was like fucking with me when I was little, right? And that's why to this day, bro, I sleep with a nightlight on because of that. No matter what, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I've slept out and did like force fighting, and there ain't no way you're getting any kind of light out there.
Yeah.
But if I can have a nightlight, bro, I'm having a nightlight. And I was laying down in my bed and I woke up and it was like my eyes were open, but I couldn't move. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking and it started like I could see into the hallway, and there was like one in the hallway, and then there was like one in the doorway, and then one behind the door, and then one in my closet, and like they all just like started closing in on me, bro. And then I was trying to scream, but like I couldn't, bro. It was crazy.
Have Do you remember the music video that me, Miguel, Jake, and Tabitha did in for the first year of the program?
Yeah, where you
Uh,
guys were being chased as
Paralysis.
Miguel. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a scene in that where it's very similar to that, where
yeah.
Jake wakes up in the classroom. He looks left, sees a dark figure, looks right, sees a dark figure, looks behind him, sees one, and then looks straight in front of him and he sees one. They get, each one gets a little closer. So that's just what that reminded me of.
No, it's funny because when we were sitting there watching that in class, like I couldn't let you guys know because I was like too macho. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I was like,
yeah. You're the brother snuck
I was
in.
like, y'all did your thing on that one.
Yeah.
Hey, someday we should upload these like old school things that we have, so that way people can see what we're talking about.
Oh, dude, I'm pretty sure I've still got this on my YouTube somewhere.
I think you guys did a hell of a good job on that for the fact that, all right, when we were in film school, we didn't have like hardly any time to make projects, especially because no one wanted to line their schedules up. It was always just
Yeah,
like,
that was the worst, dude. Like,
this is a shit show.
yeah, it was weird. It was like no one wanted to just make it happen.
Yeah, and then we'd wind up with these like last minute projects that actually like had golden moments.
Oh
Like there
yeah,
were a few that were polished like all the way around, but
yeah,
most of them were just like golden moments. You
yeah.
know, one of the best ones we did,
Huh.
um, the flasher.
Oh
You
yeah, you
remember?
motherfuckers got me on that one.
No spoilers, bro, because someday we're gonna have to put it out.
Oh shit, dude. That
Hey,
that
that's
was
gonna
funny. That was
that
funny.
was hilarious,
Yeah, that
bro.
really was a good one, honestly. That needs to
Just
be
know we trolled
uploaded.
the shit out of Zach.
Yeah, that was fun. I didn't work on that one. I wasn't part of it, but they trolled me because yeah, they were fucking
Yeah.
with me. That was a good one.
Like,
Shit.
I thought that was actually a really well made project. You know,
I thought it
I
was
was going
too.
through I was going through my stuff and I found some stuff that we did, like my final portfolio or whatever,
Yeah.
and it actually made me proud. I think like that's one of the coolest things about doing media stuff is you got all this like backpack like throwaway, excuse me, shit that you did like and as like on little independent projects. Like, oh man, if we could have Nexus, bro, that would have been the
Dude,
project.
I'm telling you, dude, I think that project had some fucking potential, dude.
It really did.
I had it that had some fucking potential, and I wish that it would have gotten finished.
Even that 48-hour film festival competition we did was like that
That was
was
another
legit.
fun one. That was a fun one. I liked that project too.
I had so much fun with that.
Yeah, that was a good one. Um, what was another one that we did that was really cool?
And for people that aren't watch or that don't know and don't do film stuff, the 48-hour film festival is a local thing that Portland does. And people come from all over. There was a whole team from Germany that came just to do this, right? And everyone's assigned like a theme for their short or whatever, and they have parameters that they have to have, like a certain object must be used in the film and like certain pieces of dialogue must be said. So you kind of all have to like craft around these base elements, but you have to have it all like pre-productioned out and shot and edited and turned in within 48 hours. And
It's a
we
crazy
actually did good.
experience. It
We
was a
did
good
good.
script. We actually get this, bro. We actually would have like we were actually told this. We actually would have won had we not messed up one of the parameters. Yeah,
Ah,
we messed up the line, and it was the context of the line. The line was like something like, um,
did you bring the something, right?
I think it was like I expected it to be bigger or something like that, or it was something about the item, right, that we had to have.
Because we were doing a spy movie,
Yeah, it
so it
was
was
like a
like
spy
a
movie.
computer chip type thing, like a USB or
Yeah.
something.
It was a computer chip that was in the shape of a guitar pick because that was the required item. Is to
Mm.
and so we just used the guitar pick as the chip that was being hunted down. And the line was something about it was a statement. It was supposed to be like a statement and not a question.
Yo, we should have AT on here someday.
He would be a good one to talk to.
Zito, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we owe it to Zito because Zito, he really came out for us. Claire,
Yeah.
aka Sage, man, we need to have her on here. We not only like is Portland kind of a hub for like really cool independence, but like that project in particular, we drew people from all different
Bro,
crowds.
there was like on the biggest day of that production, we had upwards of 30 people there.
Mm-hmm.
And every single person had a part to play. And it was from crew to extras to actors. and it was fucking phenomenal. And I really wish that shit would have gotten finished.
Hey, isn't it funny though how like someday this pendulum's gonna swing back the other way because we went from right when we got out of college, it was like everyone was still doing stuff and trying to make it, and all these projects were going on and stuff, and independent web series and all different things that we were working on.
Yeah, I was
We were
still
like,
working on
fuck that.
3.
Yeah, like
Like, yeah.
everything just kept rocking and rolling. And then all of a sudden it's like it comes down to just me and Zach. Just out here on our fucking lonely.
Well, see, like
Being a
that's
two-man
because
crew.
that's because the group that sat with you in the back row all went to get the jobs that they wanted in the
Oh
industry.
yeah.
Miguel, he's a PA, and I'm pretty sure he's been doing grip work for sometimes. Uh,
Big cat.
Matt and Big Cat, they both got the jobs that they wanted, and so
Yeah.
you know.
And so and Brian too, but then Brian it
Oh
goes
yeah,
by Woodruff or
huh?
La Luna.
It's
Brian transitioned, right? So
yeah,
what
transition to Luna
what's her
Winters, I
name?
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And just ultra talented. Oh my
and
god, like
is working in the industry still
mhm.
and fucking doing her thing.
Yeah, so it's like everybody that was in the back row kids came out one time. You know what I mean? For what's the back row kids
Yeah,
one?
Craig is still fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Can't
Well,
forget about
Craig's
that
been
man.
doing it.
Yeah,
Craig,
he was doing it and he's doing it better and he's improving.
we got to get Craig on here because he's a one man powerhouse. Like, if you come to Portland, Oregon, Craig Doby is that motherfucking dude. If you need to, like, boom, turn around a music video real quick.
Yeah, I've been helping him a lot recently.
Mm
Um, and I've been talking to him a lot and trying to get him to realize that if he were to work with you, me, and then Josh sometimes as like a backup editor,
hmm. Mm hmm.
we could crank shit out. And I think he's starting to come around to the idea of more so having a team rather than being that one man army.
Well,
Because
also,
he's, go ahead.
sorry, go on. No, finish your thought.
Oh, I was just saying because he's he's realizing like how booked he's getting now,
Mm hmm.
and he's ending up like backed up with work.
Mm
And
hmm.
so he'll have to send me projects when he's backed up. And so I talked to him. I was like, yo, we got to get to the point where rather than sending me a project when you're behind on it, let's plan for you to send me like every other project. That way we already have it and it can come out like you and I can edit on 2 different projects at the exact same time.
Yeah. And also, what I was gonna say is like looking at what we've done with our Discord and where we're going, and kind of creating like a one stop shop. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Discord provides for the music community if it's set up properly, you know, and like Craig has a whole list of like artists that he works with and that he's starting to build a catalog, and he does their videos for, he does their photo shoots,
Mm-hmm.
he promotes all their stuff, he films all their everything, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, if we could take their creative outlets, you know, and rather than having each artist going back to their respective home or studio or whatever that they created and just being there, allow them to do that, but then share it on Discord. Do you know the kind of in-house, really cool fucking Discord server he could have? So because I've been watching a lot of stuff about like death row in the '90s, right? And it was so interesting hearing how each room would be like, over here you got like Daz and Corrupt, and then you got Snoop, and then you got Tupac, and then you got, you know, like
So
everybody has their own different rooms, and it's like one big studio, right? But there would be different projects going on in each studio. And what Discord kind of would act as is the studio, and then these little individual rooms could almost like overlap, and so people could be in their own house and then bring that same those two energies together, you know, bring different crews together and allow eventually people to see it, you know,
so
like there's a
okay,
lot
so
of
like what would be the interaction? Like how do you see it Is it through just a text channel and sharing stuff, or are you talking more so like the actual production of something?
Having the ability to stream your work while you're working on it is huge. And you can collaborate. So before even talking about anyone like from the outside that's not involved in the creation of their music or his label or whatever, um, is concerned, just music creator. Let's put them together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's like they're in the studio together. They can then, and without needing to travel all the way across town, you know?
gotcha.
But if
So
you,
yeah, okay, I
you
got
see
you.
what I mean? So
Yeah,
if everybody on his roster started thinking collaboratively rather than like, I'm going to run over to my corner and make this cool little project and come back and see, and constantly trying to outdo each other, if it was something where it was collaborative and everybody was there together,
yeah,
they would actually be able to draw an audience in. And so they could have like a locked studio session, right? Where the creators just have access, right? So no matter who it is or whatever, on his roster of artists, they're the only people that can jump in and out of these different studio groups, right? So they could have multiple sessions going, and then they could also choose to have like an open house kind of place where if someone's just cooking a beat, they're not recording anything at the time. They're just doing something that they would normally do and they want to share that. Imagine how cool it would be as a viewer or a spectator to be able to watch these things getting made. You
yeah.
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
at that point, it would almost be like if he just wanted to do it like that, that would just be like live streaming on Twitch, right?
Well, kind of, sort of, right? So, like, from the audience standpoint, yes. But from what you can do by creating your own in house branded thing, right? That's a separate entity. So, Twitch can't fucking ban you for whatever content or whatever. Because, there's probably going to be some bitches twerking or, you know what I mean? There's going to be all kinds of stuff that happens because it's music.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the nature of music. It's a party and wild shit happens, you know? But if you could share that vibe, especially right now, like we're still not out of like people living life like COVID times. You know what I mean?
The only other problem that I would see with that
Hmm.
is if you allow it to be an open spectated thing,
Hmm.
unless it's like um set up properly to where everyone who joins is automatically muted. Um if you have someone who joins, they could be completely obnoxious and just destroy the entire mood. So you would have to either have it be auto muted for certain people or um always have it locked.
I think you could have multiple rooms for that, right? So you could have one room that's locked, and then you could have one room that's completely open. And so it's like, why not? Why not go into a place where you can create and you can be like, shut the fuck up, get out of here. Someone be like, hey, you should put a hi hat over there. Like, oh, that sounded so good. You know what I
Well,
mean?
no, I'm not
That,
talking about like that. Like if it's collaborative, cool. But if it's someone who comes in and just starts being obnoxious for no reason, right?
yeah.
Unnecessarily obnoxious.
But if you structure the server right, so like the musicians have a level of status where they can boot people and whatnot.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you structure it properly, which Discord gives you a whole lot of ability for you to create this hierarchy
Yeah.
of content creators, where they can also be there with the audience and everything can kind of commingle.
The
I think
only
it
other
would be an
thing we would have to
awesome thing
do,
to do.
the only other thing we'd have to do is teach Craig how to use Discord and then get him set up in that world.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's someone who's already having to work, edit, film music videos, line things up, shoot photo shoots, promote shit. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
we could just take that and pare it way the fuck down for him, and give him the ability to basically create his studio atmosphere without having to do so much actual legwork of going here and there and everywhere, I think that'd be just super beneficial for him.
I don't know if that would be practical for what Craig wants to do,
Yeah,
what
but
Craig does.
in a hypothetical sense, right?
Yeah,
Say it was
for everything, for every other thing, like getting artists to collab, even though a lot of Portland artists are fucking weird for some reason, um, that would be a great thing to do. But when
well,
it comes to like Craig specifically, I don't think that would be a good application for him.
yeah.
But it
I'm
could
just
be a
saying,
cool thing that he could run.
yeah, and the crab in a bucket mentality is gonna have to end at some point. Like, I think Portland is kind of a great poster child for what happens when everyone's hating. You know, like it's one thing to have
Literally,
competition, but when you're fucking hating, it's a whole nother game.
it's
You know?
weird, dude.
And what's interesting is like if you go to a live Portland event, you know, and you start seeing all the people come out and there might be ciphers, there might be things, it doesn't have near the same atmosphere. Like people are still cool. There's still the competitiveness of like everyone wants to be number one and no one feeling like they've made it, you know? And
Mm,
so that just breeds a certain energy, but it's not necessarily negative.
yeah,
Even though competitive is negative. It's when it's like it's this weird distance gap between people not trying to create or being like, man, they ain't even hard enough to create with me or whatever, you know?
yeah.
And that's why not many people have popped out of Portland. Like
That's why a lot of
Amine,
people in Portland have some pretty low quality shit. I won't lie.
yeah.
Like,
Well, because
yeah,
we're not honest about our staple, you know?
yeah. Like people are way too fucking focused about other shit rather than improving the quality of their music.
Yeah.
It's really
It's the fake
weird,
it till you make it thing, you know what I mean?
dude.
Like trying to look it rather than just
I've heard
pushing the
some obnoxiously bad
thing.
flows from Portland rappers.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't go with the beat. It doesn't even make sense, and you have way too many syllables for each line. So you're like trying to say them super fast, or like you're
And the
trying.
emphasis, they're
Yeah,
just trying to be way too hard over something that's not really like a punchline.
yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Like they'll put like let's say 5 syllables in one line, and then in the next bar they'll put like 8, but it'll still rhyme, but they have to say the last 3 super fast.
yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense.
It's just a weird scene right now that I don't think Portland's figured out quite yet. But Portland has some of the hardest beat makers, bro.
Dude, yeah.
I'm telling you, between Jesse and my homie Weeze, like them two alone, I don't give a fuck. Them
I
two
have a friend
alone
that makes beats, or
are
he and I were
ridiculous.
friends in high school.
Yeah.
Makes beats. He's fucking doing really good. He's got like he makes a lot of YouTube tutorials when it comes to making music. I think he's got like
My homie
1,500 followers on Twitter right now.
my
So,
homie Jay Knight taught his dad how to make beats, and his dad got picked up by Sony.
damn.
Um, yeah, and then um, I know that he just got featured in Complex because Nick Pop, who I went to middle school with, he's a cool dude, man. He actually was the one that filmed that Caroline video for Amine. You remember that yellow video?
I
Like
don't even
super.
know who Amine is.
Oh, dude. Yes, you do. I promise you. But, um, anyways, he like got really big, making music videos for him and a lot of the other homies like Weeze and everybody else. Now, Weeze and Stottle are heavy gold, and they've been doing concerts and making fucking awesome music for a long time. It's just a matter of time before people discover them. Like I've been saying since forever, bro. Weeze has been just a rock star in how he carries himself. Like I think about Weeze as like, bro, he's like the Rick James of Portland. That's the best way I can put it, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean that in like truly like the most respectable, awesome. He's just a wild fucking. He's gonna speak his mind. He's that dude.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
I know a kid that if we got him hooked up with like actual producers, he could probably do some good shit.
Yeah.
Like he makes really good songs. He does it himself in Ableton, but he doesn't make the beats. But if he had someone to be able to make him beats and then master them, that kid could do some because he makes some pretty good shit right
I'm
now.
telling you, Joseph Hines, my brother who taught me how to rap, Joseph is like literally, he's like my favorite rapper, bro.
Yeah.
Dead ass. Because every time that we've done it, like he's always made me better, and it's like interesting. He's just ridiculous. When he hits his like pocket in a freestyle, bro, people can't even keep up with him. He's ridiculous. He's
Yeah.
in a whole other league, bro. He blows my mind, you know? And he does it consistently. And like I love music. It's just the music scene in Portland is so weird. I've been really contemplating just getting beats from my homies and just putting stuff together and then us just making videos on the side. Cuz right now it's like there's no money in the fucking scene of going around and doing all the clubs and things like that. It might be kind of
Yeah.
fun for a night, but it's like I ain't got no fucking care in the world to go be around a bunch of drunk people that's like there's maybe 50, 60 people and that's like a packed house.
Yeah,
Like
and you're
what the
trying to
fuck?
get hyped in a
Yeah,
small bar that doesn't sound good and
and try not to spill a fucking IPA on somebody and
yeah.
every there's so many shootings in Portland right now too. Like it's just senseless like to even dabble too hard
Yeah,
in
so
that
you would rather
scene.
just make the music and put it out.
Well, yeah, because you feel like you're hustling backwards at a certain point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of the amount of animosity that's just in this scene where it's like they most of the people that are popping that are independent have their own rolling fan base because the way that the concerts will do it is they'll make artists sell their own tickets, right?
Okay.
And so they'll charge you and then make you sell tickets.
Gotcha. That's weird.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's this weird, like, kind of like fuck you mentality from all angles where it's like if you just focus on your craft and putting out that right now, I feel like you have a better chance than to do this runaround thing in Portland because it costs you money, it
Yeah.
costs you time, it costs you a certain level of enthusiasm that I think it gives you ambition to offset it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed in my friends over the years. Um, and that's why I was like, I feel that someday I want to start Freestyle Fridays and truly have a legit freestyle show. Like, don't bring me no written shit, nothing. I want real live beat creators doing shit in real time so we can jump into different people's streams through Discord. You know what I mean? And listen, so we can not only watch people build a beat, but when they have it, be like, all right, next beat is in this room. Psh, whoop. Have someone else stream their beat and then literally have people just freestyling over it. No
I
written.
think playing the beat having beat creators good. I think rather than making freestyle Fridays the whole thing where you watch someone make the beat then you go watch people rap to it. It would be just better just to have our beat makers playing those beats as like a show. Like instead of Dawn Talk, it would be Freestyle Fridays where you host it and then boom, you have a list of people that are there and then they get to jump on a
Yeah.
different beat.
And I think a cool way to do it would literally be to allow each crew to spit from wherever they are. You
Well,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
of course.
And
That's the
just
whole
have them
point.
stream so that way we don't have this clusterfuck of like people that don't get along and all that, and we can still promote. And anyone that's willing to show up, fuck it, come on, let's do your thing. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I was younger watching Rap City, like in the basement, and they would have Big Tigga, and he would come, and he would be Big Tig would always bring in the show, and then everybody else would jump in. Like sometimes they'd have like Nelly or freaking DMX or Luda or like everyone was on Rap City. you know, in the basement. And I always thought that was so dope. And I'm like, I feel like that's something that our culture is missing right now.
Yeah,
That
for sure, dude.
true to the roots of like hip hop, it's missing. And I feel like Portland might just be a good place for that to happen. I don't know if there's enough talent or enough people that are like willing to show up and just do it, but I think in the realms of like making songs, yeah, we might not have substantial songwriters, but in terms of just free flow, like creative spirits that are just trying to express themselves, I think that's something that Portland is like the capital of, you know? Because everyone's just lost in this weird, druggy, trippy, hippie culture that we
Yeah.
are, We're not Cali. We're not on that level of fucking gangster shit, although there's tons of shootings, but it's not the same. They don't like gangbang shit has never been like Portland's staple. That's
Yeah.
never been what people think of when they think of Oregon or the Pacific Northwest. Like
I
they
think,
think of
well,
drugs and
like
hippies and shit.
the only thing holding us back from being able to do Freestyle Fridays is building that community and Discord. To be able
Yeah.
to get a substantial amount of people and enough people to be able to do something like that, uh, that's the biggest hurdle we would face. Everything else would be easy.
To be honest, bro, I've been thinking about just starting it just to smoke a blunt and drink and just kick it with the homies and whoever joins joins. Even if it's just our only our only friends that we have right now are kids that are younger kids from scattered all over, South
Yeah.
Carolina, like Zack or Josh. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care. Just for the love of doing it, because really, it's just so fun to see what comes out.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what I'm gonna say. It just happens to I say some shit, and it's like me telling myself a story, and I'm like, damn, that was hard. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if the whole thing is gold. It's the fun of
Yeah.
it, and everybody just being together and just vibing, and it's all love. Like, you did this shit. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
trying to outdo yourself while trying to outdo, like, while being honest about who had the best shit on a beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Best verse.
Fuck yeah,
And
dude.
so that's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I think that's where I feel I can contribute to the culture in a way that would do it justice, and try and promote other people, that because I haven't established myself and learned actually how to write verses. I never learned how to write. I can freestyle my ass off, but I never learned how to write.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I've never really gotten into researching rhyme schemes or anything like that. I remember when I was in high school learning iambic pentameter, which was just a weird thing. I think it was like AABB, AABB, whatever, ABA or some, I don't know, some weird shit.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, so
It's a cadence.
okay.
It Yeah, it's a cadence and a rhythm that you deliver in poetry, if I'm correct. Maybe
Okay.
total bro summary of that, but I
All
remember it was
right.
like freshman year or sophomore year that I
Yeah.
learned that from Mrs. Moore in Franklin High School. So shout out to her.
Oh yeah, Mrs. Moore.
But no, I just think like just doing it to do it,
Well, of
just to give
course.
people a space would be way fucking cool to me.
Yeah. 100%, dude. I fuck with
And
it.
I think once we nail down Dawn Talk, like that's something that I really, really want to start up and get going because so many of my bros are like, they're ill, bro. And I watch them put their all into it and they've done it for years, bro.
Yeah.
Since back when I was trapping off a 92nd out of my little house off of Foster, like all the homies are still making beats and everything, still rapping and doing it better than they did back then.
Mhm.
So I think it's just something that I feel I owe to the community to do and to myself because bro, I love doing that shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like if the world just only knew some of the gold that comes out, it's ridiculous. And the cool thing is in this digital age, bro, I don't care. I don't care where people come from, where they're, I want talent from all over to come and fill this up. you know?
Yeah.
I think it would be great to have people from like for instance, I got to see Big Crit in concert. I love his southern ass, bro. The way that his like Mississippi accent is so thick, I'm like, that would be so tight to be able to rap and have all these different accents coming together. I love like, bro, my favorite rapper forever been Lil Boosie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So having like Louisiana in there, fucking, I love Texas. Like if you look up the Screwed Up Click back in the day, DJ Screw wouldn't let anybody rap anything that was written. When you came into his house, he would just keep you there while he would be cooking because people would want to get his mixtapes, the screw tapes. And
Yeah.
so they'd be locked down in his house for like 3 days. And I'm talking like tons of famous um, Texas rappers. And there's videos of them, and they're all just faded, just sitting there smoking blunts, talking shit. And that's really what it was, and where the art stems from. And I'm like, I want that. I want to bring that to the modern day because I'm tired of people getting up on fucking freestyle shows and yeah, it's unreal hard to just hear a beat and be such a talented rapper that you have everything and you're able to just recite it on any beat, you know, and adjust the cadence and the delivery of it. Like that blows my mind. I don't even know how they do it,
Hmm.
but there's a portion of me that like is frustrated with it because I'm like, I just want to see like the raw talent of you. Like I want to see the stumbling and everything. I don't care if it's polished, you know?
Yeah.
I want to see the unrefined version, you know?
I feel you.
That to me just resonates with me in a different way. Well, I guess this podcast was pretty much us brainstorming and sharing a little bit of stories
Fucking
and
crazy
maybe,
ideas. Yeah.
yeah, things to come. But that's what Dawn Talk really is all about. Literally, I feel like episode 8 just got to the bedrock of what the fuck Dawn Talk is about, bro. Shout out to Jesse Knight, bro. Jay Knight, we're gonna have him on here for his fucking beats, bro, and I'm gonna have him playing beats, and you're gonna be like, this is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
his production value is crazy. We'll get Wheeze and fucking Stottle and Archie and everybody that like I know that are my bros that rap. We'll get them in here and showcase their stuff. But really, Jesse would always pull up on me, and when we would be sitting there, he'd have like half a gram of weed. I always sold weed, so I'd be like, "All right, bet, come through with a sweet or something," and we'd fill it up, smoke, and this is what we would talk about. It's like, bro, imagine how cool it would be if we just did this and collaborating and bringing people together. So this is really the essence of what Dawn Talk is, and it's coming to the surface. This is just bosses collaborating and seeing what we can get done and letting y'all in on backroom conversations. So, from the heart, I love you guys. I'm Kemper Woodruff,
All
Zack
right.
Sampson. That's my bros. Couldn't do this without you. 007 and Q right here. Peace.
Later, guys.